Hey guys, it's me, Miss Norris, and today I'd like to share a fun read aloud with you of the story A List. The story A List is in the collection of stories Frog and Toad Together, and it's a great story about a wonderful things to do list. Do you make a things to do list? I know I do, and I love it. Makes me feel happy crossing things off. Let's hear what happens when Frog and Toad have a list. Here we go. A list. One morning, Toad sat in bed. I have many things to do, he said. I will write them all down on a list so that I can remember them. Toad wrote on a piece of paper, a list of things to do today. Then he wrote, Wake up. Well, I have already done that, said Toad, and he crossed it out. Wake up, crossed out. So you can see Toad is making his list, and down here, he's already woken up, so he can already cross that right off. Check, check. Then Toad wrote other things on the paper. A list of things to do today. Wake up, crossed off. Eat breakfast, get dressed, go to Frog's house, take walk with Frog, eat lunch, take nap, play games with Frog, eat supper, go to sleep. Wow, Toad's day sounds a lot like my own day. I think I could just copy his to-do list. But a lot of it involves having fun with Frog. There, said Toad. Now my day is all written down. He got out of bed and he had something to eat. Then Toad crossed out, eat breakfast. So we can see Toad's list. It's a pretty long list, but it's a lot of fun stuff. And he's already woken up and eaten breakfast. And he gets to cross something else out. Let's look at what's next on his list. Eat breakfast. He needs to get dressed next. Toad took his clothes out of the closet and put them on. Then he crossed out, get dressed. Toad put the list in his pocket. He opened the door and walked out into the morning. Soon, Toad was at Frog's front door. He took the list from his pocket and crossed out, go to Frog's house. So he's making short news of all his list. He's gotten dressed. He went out and went to Frog's house. Two things right there, just crossed out. Toad knocked at the door. Hello, said Frog. Look at my list of things to do, said Toad. Oh, said Frog. That is very nice. Toad said, my list tells me that we will go for a walk. All right, said Frog. I am ready. So that's pretty nice of Frog to follow along with Toad's list as well. He says, my list says we're going for a walk, and Frog says, well, then I'm ready. Frog and Toad went on a long walk. Then Toad took the list from his pocket again. He crossed out, take a walk with Frog. Just then, there was a strong wind. It blew the list out of Toad's hand. The list blew high up into the air. Help! Cried Toad. My list is blowing away. What will I do without my list? So he's feeling pretty accomplished and like he's done a lot of stuff and just crossing stuff out. But the wind has a different plan and takes his list far, far away. Hurry, said Frog. We will run and catch it. No, shouted Toad. I cannot do that. Why not? Asked Frog. Because, wailed Toad, running after my list is not one of the things that I wrote on my list of things to do. Frog ran after the list. He ran over hills and swamps, but the list blew on and on. At last, Frog came back to Toad. "I am sorry," gasped Frog, "but I could not catch your list." "Blah," said Toad. So Toad wouldn't chase after his list because it wasn't on his things to do list, but Frog would do it. And even though he ran and ran, he was unable to catch that list. And Toad is just blah. What would you do if you lost your things to do list? I think I would just keep on going and maybe try and remember my list and just make a new list tomorrow. "I cannot remember any of the things that were on my things to do. I'll just have to sit here and do nothing," said Toad. Toad sat and did nothing. Frog sat with him. Oh, he's a good friend. After a long time, Frog said, "Toad, it's getting dark. We should be going to sleep now." "Go to sleep?" shouted Toad. "That was the last thing on my list." Toad wrote on the ground with a stick, "Go to sleep." Then he crossed out, "Go to sleep." "There," said Toad. "Now my day is all crossed out." "I am glad," said Frog. Then Frog and Toad went right to sleep. The end. So they're sitting around doing nothing because they can't remember the things on the list. Then Frog says, I gotta go to sleep. I'm tired, which reminds Toad that that's the last thing on his list. So he writes it in the sand so he can cross it out, and both the Frog and the Toad can get some shut-eye and start again tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed the story, A List. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button on the bottom of the page. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. If you're not a subscriber yet, please check that subscribe button down at the bottom of the page. And don't forget to click the bell so that you're notified when there's new content. And please tune in every Friday through the months of June and July for Frog and Toad Friday. They're some of my favorites, and I hope to share them with you all summer long. I hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.